To me, I was the average 15-year-old. I didn't do anything that any other 15-year-old was doing. I was a straight A student, but I do believe the stress of life caused my mom to react in certain ways that maybe she shouldn't have reacted in. And being that I had older siblings that were 5, 7, and 9 years older than me, all girls, that I had already taken her through, I believe she was trying to protect me, but she didn't know how. And for me, I was standing up for myself because I wasn't going to allow her to do what I seen her do to my sisters. So by me reacting, it led me homeless. When I left my mom's house, I really didn't have a place to go, so I was basically homeless. I would stay nights at my sister's, my boyfriend, my cousins. I had a friend as well that I would stay at her house from time to time. And times was just hard. I didn't know what to do. Well, eventually my sister did allow me to basically live there. But guess what, y'all? I got kicked out. Now, the reason my sister kicked me out was because I got too comfortable. I wasn't going to school. I was in 10th grade. I would go to school, but it was whenever I wanted to go to school. I was laid up with my boyfriend, who now, when I look back, was a grown-ass man. I was 16 and he was 23 years old. He had already graduated high school. But I wasn't going to school, wasn't doing what I was supposed to do as a young girl. So my sister wasn't having it, and she kicked me out. And I wasn't even mad about it, because right is right, wrong is wrong. And even at 16 years old, I held myself accountable for my actions. So when I eventually got kicked out of my sister's house, I really didn't have anywhere to go. My 23-year-old boyfriend was basically homeless too, because he was staying with his sister and her husband, and sometimes his mom and her husband. So he really didn't have a place of his own either. So I needed somewhere to stay. So of course my favorite cousin, she took me in with her husband, and their 2 kids, and they let me stay there. So when I do get to my cousin's home, her and her boyfriend at the time, the father of her children, they were into the Lord, and I was of the world. And when I say these people were into the Lord, I mean that from the bottom of my heart. They went to church Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday. They prayed all day, like they were living their best holy life, and I was proud of them. But guess what? They weren't having none of my shenanigans. I was coming in late. I wasn't keeping my supposed to be room the way it was supposed to be. I was going missing for a day or two. I was just out there living my best 16-year-old life. No rules, no consequences. But guess what? I ended up getting a consequence because I got kicked out. So now, at this point, I'm just out there. Nowhere to stay. Nowhere to go. Well, my boyfriend, he was like, well, come on over here to my mama's and stay over here with me and my mama. So that's what I did. So eventually my boyfriend's mom moved out. It was only like a week. I'm not going to say she moved. Her and her man, they had got somewhere to go. And so this was like a 2-bedroom. Well, it was really a 1-bedroom, and it had a big opening where the back was a bedroom and the other was, it was no door. It was no door. It was split off. But he ended up getting his friend and his girlfriend to move in. And so we basically had roommates. And we stayed together a few months, 3-4 months tops. A lot of drama, a lot of things going down. But one day, he came home and was like, hey, I'm moving. He had got some trailer where his family lived, and he was literally moving like in a day or two. And I'm like, and I knew because I was still trying to go to school. Really didn't go as much as I should have went, but I was still going to school and trying to do my part. And I couldn't go where he was going because it was 20, 30 miles away. Well, at least 20 miles away. And I didn't have transportation at this time. So I ended up coming up with a plan on how to get myself out of the situation I was in. I had a job. I was working. Yeah, I was a waitress, so I was making good money. Good money. I had a job, so I had to come up with a plan. So I have another sister, and she was living at this efficiency type of place. It was called The Lodge, and they rented out the room for $100 a week, $32 extra to rent the TV. So for $132 a week, you can stay there. So I knew I can pay the $132 a week. I was making that in a day. I was a waitress. But I had to come up with how can I even get a place there. I needed some type of way. So I put on my thinking caps once again, and I came up with a plan. So when I left my mom's house, she ended up giving me a copy of my birth certificate. So therefore, I was like, hey, I can change my 83 to 81, and now I'll be 18. So that's exactly what I did. I went to the local library, and I sat there at that computer. I typed up 1981 in every font and size that I could find that was similar to the one that was on my birth certificate. And when I did that, I found one. I cut it out. I got some invisible tape, and I taped it across, and I made several copies. I'm dropping 10 cents into this thing, just 10 cents, trying to get the clearest copy I can get. And I finally got it. So I take my doctored up birth certificate and my student ID, and I go into the office of the lodge, and I sit and I have a conversation with the man. I let him know that I'm homeless, my mom kicked me out, I'm pregnant, which wasn't the case. I actually had just lost the baby, and I had nowhere to go. Well, he told me, he's like, I really don't rent to people unless they're 21 or older. And so at this point, I'm like, darn, I should have made myself born in the 70s. Oh my gosh. But guess what? He said, it's something about you. He said, I'm going to give you a chance. And he gave me a chance, and that's all I needed was that chance. He gave me that chance. I'm so grateful. And I did the right thing every week. For a year and 8 months, I paid $132 a week until I was old enough to get something in my name legally. And I found a spot. It was a 1-bedroom, 1 bath, all utilities included, for $492 a month. God, that was a blessing. It was a blessing. I just want to thank you all for listening to my story. If you like this, continue to support the channel, subscribe, like, and share. You never know what this may reach. It may be able to help someone.